Hello guys, welcome to another video on Java for Beginners. In this video we're going to be talking about a different kind of technique that you can use to pass arguments in method calls. So far what we've done is we either used to pass directly the values or the variables as arguments in our method calls. So again, if in case you don't know, arguments are parameters. And yeah, there's also this other technique that you can use instead of directly sending values, that is called by reference technique. So before that, what we used to do till this video tutorial is called by value technique. So let's just quickly demonstrate both the methods so you can, both the techniques so you can understand what's the difference between called by value and called by reference. So let's create a class. We can name that class called by value. Alright, so we can have a method setter or just whatever. That's the word that came to my mind now. And you can have values string, color, int size. So okay, to be clear, let's just create another class, hello world, or whatever you want, and write the main function there. Okay. Then here we can create an object for the class called by value C equals, or just color equals new call by value. So there you go. You can define a string color equals whatever you want, red, and int size equals 5. So there you go. You can call the method color dot setter. You can pass the variables color and size as the arguments, but in the method you can try and manipulate or change the values of color to green and change the value of size to 7. So as it's evident, you can print the values of color and size. So yeah, there you go. You in this method setter, we are changing the values of the variables color to green and size to 7, whereas while we pass, the values are red and 5. So let's just quickly run this program and check for ourselves what's going to be the output. It's red and 5. So as you can conclude, if you analyze this code, it's clear that the variable names of the parameters are same in this case for the method call and so here where we're sending the color and size are the variables that we defined here, and these are the variables that belong to the method. So no matter, even if the variable names in the method call and the method definition are same, there are completely different variables in the memory location. So call by value. So in this technique, what happens when you pass values or variables as the arguments in method calls is that the values of the variables are copied to these variables. So as I said, these are completely different set of variables right here, and the values of these variables are copied to these variables in the method definition, and then whatever changes you make here are the changes that are affected only to these variables. So if you print out the value of color in this method, so it will give you green. And similarly, all you have to remember in call by value technique, what happens is a separate copy of values are made and then passed on or assigned to the variables in the argument list of the method, and then whatever operations you do there doesn't affect the original parameters. So these are called the actual parameters, and these are called as the formal parameters right here. So whatever the changes that you make to the formal parameters, it doesn't reflect on the actual parameters. So that's one technique how you can use pass the arguments. So there is this another technique called as call by reference. So what I mean by reference is something that points to a memory in the memory location. So here an object is a reference, obviously, because it points to a memory location in the memory. And you can have variables for the class, string color and size. So you make the color and size as instance variables, and then you say, okay, so alright, so here we say color dot the method call. Here you can pass the object color. So here you can receive that object. So for an object, you first have to define its type, call by value is its type, and you can say are just different name. So call diff color. Okay, so you can still use diff color dot color equals green, diff color dot size equals 7. So here at first, if you print out, or just for convenience, we can also have a constructor. You can say call by value, and the default will be color equals red, size will be 5. Okay, so that's done. So when this object is created, its value is going to be, so we can see that as well in the output, color, oops, color.size. So when this object is constructed, created, this constructor runs by default, and the values of color and size will be set to red and 5. So if this system.out.println prints, it's going to print red and 5. And after this method call, even though the names of the objects are different right here, what's happening here is that the caller, the object, refers to some memory in the memory location, and the same address that the object caller points to is copied. So remember that the address is copied to this variable right here in the method definition, and whenever you manipulate upon that object, so what's happening is the values in that memory location are manipulated or changed. So let's just quickly run this again. Alright, so it gives red and 5. So you can say, oops, system again, system.out.println, and you can say color size. So this is after the method call. After this method call, whatever we print, it's going to be green and 7. So there you go. First it's giving red and 5, and then it's giving green and 7. So that basically tells you that wherever the address is pointed to by the object caller, it's copied. So here the same thing happens here, but here in the call by value technique, the values is directly copied, whereas in call by reference technique, the address is copied, and then whatever you manipulate upon that address is reflected directly in that memory location. So hence the values for the instance variables of that object caller is changed. So that's all about the call by value and call by reference for this video, guys. Thanks again for watching. See you all in the next video. Till then, please don't forget to like this video, share this video, and comment if you have any kind of doubts, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel.